Hey guys, how are you doing? Welcome to a brand new video. Today, take a little look at a new early access game called ENDZONE, A World Apart, which is like this sort of survival city builder, I guess is the best way of describing it. Gently Mad Studios invited me to play the game, guys, so while it's not a sponsored video, I've not been paid for it, just so you know, I got the game for free, so anything I say is my own opinion. And even if I was paid to play it, you would still get my own opinion anyway, which is probably why I don't get any real sponsorships. But anyway, guys, we're going to play a little bit of ENDZONE World Apart. We'll just do the tutorial so you guys get like the gist of the game. I have sunk a bit of time into it already, but we're just going to start off with the tutorial because it gives you a lot of info when I'm not talking. So let's just start a new game. So at the moment, they've got scenarios, survival mode, and of course the tutorial. So we're going to go on the tutorial. Alright, here we go. That's my people down there, my starting people in the camper van.
We finally left the end zone. Just look at this beautiful scenery. It's marvelous, even though it's a bit different from what we had pictured. We were able to secure a few basic resources and are storing them in our bus.
So, I'll try not to talk over when any of the AI talks about anything, because this is a tutorial. There's going to be a little bit of hand-holding, as you might imagine. So guys, with it being an early access game, it doesn't play in widescreen super well, so I'm actually playing and recording in 1080p now. Normally I'd be playing and or recording in 2K, but right now you lose about 20 or 30 FPS doing that. So I've decided just to do maximum quality recording at 1080p.
I'm glad we prepared ourselves well for this kind of scenario, especially since our inventories in the end zone ran low. Don't forget that if you need additional information, you can look at our survival guide at any time.
Marvelous. Let's get going. So the first thing to do is open the survival guide. But the first thing I want to really talk about, guys, is the UI. So we have everything that's super important along the top here. So we've got water, our food, wood, scrap, tools, radiation protection clothing, medication from the herbs and stuff, cloth, metal, plastic, electronics, and charcoal, which is a strange symbol for charcoal, but every now and again I always look at it and I'm like, what's that? And I'm like, oh yeah, charcoal. It's an odd one, but yeah, it works. We've got a main map here, so the actual map size is pretty big. It just goes off for ages in all the directions. Alright, let's find out where we are. We're here, so let's get back down here. Right here. And along the bottom here, guys, we have a few useful things. Like we can find out the soil moisture. This is important for when you're farming. So this actually changes with the actual weather patterns. So areas like this with lots of trees seem to hold moisture for a little while. This is all dry over here. Moist is green, wet is blue. So the water, of course, is blue. But this changes with like weather patterns, which is actually pretty neat. So if you have a period of drought, your crops aren't going to grow particularly well. Oh, the rain is here. I was wondering, I was like, why is it getting blue over here? But it's raining. And you can also find what the radiation is like around here as well. So it's only very mild over here, quite bad over there. I don't think I've seen any red zones yet, actually. Let's have a quick look around the map. Yeah, you got orange, closed nuclear power plant. Ooh, that was in the picture as we loaded in. That's cool. So that's a point of interest as well. So I haven't got that far, so that's all going to be a surprise to me when I start exploring those, because you send out like little scouting parties. So once again, let's just click here, get back to where we are, and let's get underway here. So open the survival guide. Fantastic. So that teaches you everything that you need to know along with the tutorial. So if you need to refer back,
Well,
there you go.
Everything you need to know should be right here. I think the time has come for us to at last build ourselves a new home here.
Indeed. So the game plays in seasons as well, guys, so you can see what the weather's going to be doing not too far ahead, but you can get a weather station so you can prepare in advance.
Before we can construct buildings at all, we have to assign the profession builder to several settlers so that they can take care of construction contracts. In general, it's your responsibility to decide which tasks are important and how our settlers are supposed to be distributed to attend to them.
So you can click on that to find out some more things. But yeah, if we want to sort out our professions here, we've got 12 settlers. So if we make, say, 4 of them.
Your builders will be ready as soon as construction contracts have been issued. It's time to start focusing on our key and most basic need, water.
Water everywhere.
The first thing we ought to do is to establish a working water supply. So we'll move on to our first construction contract. Place and build a jetty by a lake in the vicinity of your town center.
Excellent, so we're finally building stuff. It actually only wanted me to make 3 builders, but we're going to do 6. So we're going to have half of our citizenry as builders. So they'll do building, repairing, demolitions, I would assume. Let's rotate that around. How close is that to our center? Pretty close. Let's get it like there. I think that'll be good. So now we've placed that, these guys are going to go get the materials out of the truck. Our starting base of operations. So let's put the game on fast speed. So here they come carrying the materials. Looks like wood.
Very good. The jetty was completed as planned. Now we have a place where we can collect water. There are other possibilities to gather water too, but the jetty is the simplest and most cost-effective method. We can obtain and store water from different sources, like a jetty, rain collector, or well in the cistern. The cistern should always be in close proximity to a water source, so that our water carriers don't have to walk too far.
That makes sense, and as you get used to the game, you'll find out what the best areas are to place things. So if we just place it like right here, so it's like right next to the jetty. Oh, there was a bit of a red dot there, so there we go. You can rotate things as well, but I think that'll be fine. I think the staircase is on this side, so we could have rotated it to maximize our productivity, but I think that'll be fine. And right now, there's not much else to do other than have some water carriers. So if we do 3, which is what we're requested, so as soon as that's built, the people with the profession will go do the job. I kind of want to talk about more of the game since I've been playing it for quite a few hours, but we'll just go as the tutorial goes. And then try not to make too long a video. So in the interest of time, we'll fast speed. There we go. So what they were doing just then was clearing this radiation. If you want to build here, you first have to till the soil, I guess. Alright, so here we go. They're building. Marvellous. So we've got this here, and now these guys are going to... let's put it on play. These guys are going to take the water barrels out there and fill this with water. So we could have 5 people on this. Let's do that. Just so that we've got maximum water on its way. So right now I've got 13 adults and 6 children. And some of them are about to become adults shortly. We've got just under half confidence, happiness levels. So we're going to try and improve that a little bit. You might not want to stand in the radiation for a long period of time. I don't think low level actually does anything from what I've seen so far. I think it has to be like decent strength radiation for citizens to actually take damage. So we need to produce some water.
Great. We have now installed a working water supply, and water is now transported from the jetty to our cistern. Consider hiring more water carriers if you don't have enough settlers available. You can never have enough water in storage.
This is true, guys. My pro tip right now from like 3 or 4 hours of experience, you can never have too much water and you can never have too much food. Because as soon as you hit a drought, as soon as you hit like a sandstorm, when the events start happening in the main game or the tutorial, it can go from being fairly straightforward to really damn hard, like immediately. So it's worth having plenty of storage and plenty of spare water and food.
Now we should focus on food production. It's important to ensure the supply right from the start. A gatherer's cabin, a hunting lodge, or a fishing hut can directly remedy the situation. I suggest starting with a fishing hut, since we're already located near a lake.
Alright, so let's build a fishing hut. So you can always just click on things like this, guys, especially while you're learning. So much easier. I love the fact that they've got tooltips like that where you can just, what do I need to do? Fishing hut. Instead of you looking around for it, boom, click on it, off you go. So rotate that around. Can we put that there? Yes, they'll break the tree for us. Perfect. So yeah, don't place more than one too close together. The efficiency starts to go down, as you can see there, 80%. Maybe if we rotate over here, we could do another one over there for 100%. Which, it's probably too early for us to do an extra one, so we'll just have the one for now. Have we got any builders? We've got 6 builders. Where are they? Oh, they're here gathering resources? There we go. Yep, so one of them's chopped down a tree. Perfect. So, again, in the interest of time, fast forwards. Super fast forwards. Everyone's going mental. Excellent. And now we should have 2 fishermen as well. Or a fisher lady and a fisherman. So they're going to gather fish for us. And then we just need to wait for them to acquire some fishes for us to complete this task. So this is a great way to learn the game. A lot more games that are like this should have tutorials like this.
Good
Done.
work. We've now taken care of our basic supply via food and water. Make sure that you have enough food and water on hand at all times, especially if you want to upgrade your settlement. A population that grows too fast can quickly unbalance your food and water supply, bringing major difficulties for you if you don't watch out. Crops are another excellent way of getting food, because they constantly grow as long as the soil is moist enough. Each seed has different yields and growing times. This means that it could take some time until your field is ready to be harvested, in contrast to your fishing hut, where production can be right away.
So, a cultivated field. Let's get that underway. Now, it's not super clear how this works in terms of the size. It looks like once you click and drag, the most you can do is 16 by 16. If we go there. So anything more than that doesn't work. It looks like this is the maximum size, which makes sense, but I think it ought to just like stop. If you can't do more than that, then maybe it should just stop so you're not dragging it out, trying to work out what the biggest size you can make is. 16 by 16 appears to be the limit. I don't know if that actually changes when you progress through the game. I've not seen it get any bigger than that. But we'll plonk that right there. So right now we have no farmers. We will get 1 farmer on there. So I've been warned that our settlers are homeless at the moment. So hopefully we'll be getting to build some houses shortly. So we'll choose the seed of a pumpkin. Whoops, there we go.
Looks good. Remember that we need the widest variety of food sources to stay healthy. You should also plan ahead for drought periods that might come when it's not going to rain. Stock up on food and adapt your production to avoid bottlenecks. I'll show you a few more strategies later on.
So as you can see here, guys, we've got like 2 days of no rain coming up very shortly. But rain with no contaminants in a minute.
At the beginning, we don't have much scrap, wood, or other resources. We could build a production building, but to obtain resources as fast as possible, it's best that we start gathering right away. Assign a Gather All Resources task. All the settlers who haven't been assigned any profession by you are going to accept these kinds of tasks. In addition, settlers distribute resources within your settlement.
There we go. So this guy is seeding away. We still have no houses. But given the fact that there's no rain coming soon, I was going to make another plot of land here for farming, but I think we'll avoid doing that right now because it's not going to be worth it. So our task right now is to place a gather wood task, gather scrap with our 3 settlers, and gather some stuff. So gather wood. We'll bring that over here. Find a nice bunch of trees. Looks like 224 is the best we can do. And then we'll gather some scrap. There's some right here. Try and get as much of it in one go as possible. There we go. So we need to assign some people to that. Oh, we haven't actually got anyone at the moment. We can take some people off water duty because that's full, so we'll take 2 people away from that. And then this is going to automatically assign people that are free of jobs. So again, in the interest of time, let's just fast forward. So for now, the bus functions as your storage. So as we gather stuff, it's going to go up, but it's all been stored in here until we have warehouses and such. But bear in mind, if you chop down trees too quickly...
Since we now own plenty of resources, we can start to build a real production building. Then you don't have to always make efforts by hand that collecting is taking place. Production buildings are not only easier to manage, they are also distinctly more effective than simple tasks. Don't place production buildings too far away from your settlement. You'll be able to change their working area at any time later on.
So yeah, I was just about to say before I was rudely interrupted, Arthur, that of course, if you manually do a lot of tree chopping like this, they do take a long time to grow back. Of course, like a few other games, you can replant seeds so that trees start growing back again. So obviously you want to do that as soon as possible, because you're not going to get a lot of wood if you immediately remove all the trees.
Right on. The best thing for us to do now is to build a forester's lodge to automate our supply of wood and make it more effective at the same time. Foresters are not only able to chop down trees, they reforest areas with trees as well.
Oh, as well? Says you should have been saying 2 here, but okay. So, a forester's lodge. We will pop them about here for maximum effect. So here we go, guys. There's radiation that has to be dug out around here first. Low-level radiation. So, again, in the interest of time, fast forward. Then I have to cut down a couple of trees as well, yep. And then start digging. Here come the spade guys. Can't quite see what's going on in there now. Too much tree coverage. There we go, they're turning the soil. And now they're ready for building. So they're going to bring over some wood, hopefully. But that poor guy just seeding that whole thing by himself. Poor guy. Poor man. Alright. Yeah, it looks like they're bringing the rest of the materials over for me. So guys, these videos that I do sort of Let's Plays of, I don't really do much other than offer my opinion and play the game, sort of present it to you. I generally don't say whether something's definitely worth buying or definitely not worth buying, and unless I can be swung either way by it. My experience so far has been really positive in about 4 or 5 hours game time I have. Literally at this point, my only negatives so far has been
Good
probably...
job. You might want to change this building's working area later on to tell your workers where they should get their wood from. Ah, and for your information, If you want, you can also tell your Forester's Lodge that they only ought to attend to reforesting an area in order to create a lush, green forest which generations to come can use.
So yeah, literally my only negative so far, guys, are the usual of course, once your area has become like a big city with a lot of hustle and bustle, the frame rate does start to go down a little bit, but that's pretty much the case for all city builder games, especially something that's in early access.
Very good. Now we ought to take care of collecting scrap. Scrap is one of the most valuable resources because the quantities present are limited, and we can recover other resources from scrap. Unlike the task we just had, the scrap yard allows larger quantities of existing scrap to be dismantled than with ruins or wrecks.
Understood. So we should build a scrap yard. And we may as well keep it close by since this area has a whole bunch of scrap. Actually, no, hang on. Yeah, about here is probably going to give us our best rate. So fast forward again, get everyone building. Boom. And we'll pop 2 people onto that, so we need to produce 20 scrap to complete this bit of the tutorial. We'll demolish that because we've got an actual scrap area here now, so we'll put 2 more people into that.
You can change the working area for the scrapyard too. We can recycle scrap into 4 additional resources: cloth, metal, plastic, and electronics. We'll do that shortly, but for now we ought to take care of your settlers' needs first. Our people want a place to sleep and live. Cabins fulfill their need for safety and privacy and increase the confidence of their inhabitants. In other words, building cabins increases their willingness to start families and reproduce, if you know what I mean.
I have no idea what you're talking about, Arthur. Let's do it. But not with Arthur. That'd be weird. Alright, let us build some cabins. And we need to build 8 of those. And now what I'm going to do, if there's space, is do 1, 2, 3... Damn it. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. 3. So I've done 9, which is more than what we needed, but we're going to be needing them shortly anyway. And they don't take a lot of resources, it's just wood and scrap. So we should be fine. That's 1 already being made. Let's go super speed, guys, because the recording's already into the 20-minute mark. Super speed, super fast. Gotta go fast. So you can prioritize which building you need built first, but in this case they're all the same. So I'm not in a particular rush for either.
Besides cabins, you can also provide sturdy houses and shelters as housing. Sturdy houses withstand sandstorms better and have an increased storage capacity to boot. Children living in houses gradually fill up the house's stockpiles. Settlers do not reproduce in a shelter because they lack privacy.
So if you need to kind of limit your population, the best thing to do is to build a shelter so people have somewhere to live, but they're not going to be, you know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean?
Let's return from our excursion into housing and refocus on scrap. With the help of a recycler or refinery, scrap can be sorted into 4 different resources. A recycler always takes scrap apart, 1 resource at a time, while a refinery automatically produces all 4 resources. To start off, you should build a recycler and produce cloth.
Alright, let's make some cloth. So, can we build there? Yes, we can. So, I'm going to build 3 recyclers, if I'm allowed to. Yeah. And the idea is to... that was terrible. I'm very sorry about that. The idea being is there's the 3 things that we can make from this, which is cloth, metal, plastic, at least at this stage. We've also got electronics there as well, but that's going to be a while. And this needs wooden scrap. Actually, so yeah, let's make the other one as well. So we're ready as these things come. Super speed! You see, I already need one more house at the moment. Not allowed to build a shelter yet, so it's going to have to be a cabin. I'll build 2, there we go. So, oh, our farm's looking pretty good. Should get a nice bunch of food from that. Okay, this has got no workers, so we'll go cloth. 2 workers, cloth again. And then that one doing metal. And this one doing plastic. But we don't have the workforce at the moment. We could take a couple of builders away. There we go. Now everyone's got 1 person in each building producing all the things. Excellent. So we're at super speed now, so we should start producing cloth pretty quick.
You can instruct your recycler to produce a different resource at a time. It's important that you focus on the resources you really need, at least in the beginning. Cloth and metal look like good options if you want to equip us with protective clothing and tools.
Again, these are super important, and you do want to be making those as well.
Happy settlers are industrious settlers. That's why we ought to look after our people and protect them against the surroundings and dangers, like radiation. So let's start by transforming our newly recovered cloth into protective clothing. A tailor will be able to help us with that.
Alright, Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. Let's build a tailor. Where is our tailor on here? Oh, we haven't got one yet until we build the tailor shop, so let's do that. I'm going to put my tailors here. Notice I said tailors. I'm going to make a few. But we'll put this as build next, so we're not taking resources to that building just yet. Super speed. Excellent. I don't think we have any spare workers at the moment, so we're going to have to maybe reduce our builders down to 2 people building, so we can get a workforce here. That building's going to need more cloth. So at the moment, this guy's going to build neck scarves for protection from radiation, and then I've got the spare one for doing... ideally, later on, it does help a lot to have one for each thing. You can pick and choose, so you can change them all anytime. So just need to wait for 1 neck scarf to produce before getting to the next bit of the tutorial. Yeah, we're going to have to wait, so I might as well make more neck scarves.
Environmental radiation into 4 levels. No radiation, low level, medium level, and high-level radiation. The radiation changes constantly and is influenced by weather and contaminated rain. Protective clothing helps to protect us against this kind of radiation, but it takes a while before it's produced. And production relies on a steady flow of incoming resources. Try to establish production chains at an early stage and start to stockpile goods so that some are always on hand.
What he said.
The tools we brought along from the ENDZONE are slowly but surely running out. So now, let's focus on manufacturing new tools. The tools will help us to work effectively. We'll need metal for that, so we'll prepare for production by building another recycler, which we'll commission to recover metal from scrap. After that, we'll need a workshop to enable the manufacturing of brand new tools.
So I've already skipped a step there. So we'll build a workshop next. And I might just put it over here with the other production buildings. So I'll make metal tools, which makes our workers work better. The same as the better clothing makes them live better and happier lives. And there are some pigs. There are some pigs in our lands. Eventually we can kill them for meat. So, keep hanging around here, guys. You're going to become pork chops. So once again, we'll whack super speed on there. So yeah, guys, it's all about being super productive. There's no one working in there, but we've got a slot for one person. And we can start making metal tools now. But you can change the production limit and stuff like that, so you don't have to go mental with all the resources, especially if you're low on space. You can always reduce things or increase them, as the need may be. So, let us just finish this. And then that's that bit of the tutorial done. We are doing super good for food. I'm really glad I built a massive farm.
With our roughly new tools, we are now prepared to work effectively. Should you ever run out of metal, keep in mind that you can also instruct your workshop to manufacture tools from scrap instead of metal. Though they won't be quite as effective, it's still better than being forced to work with bare hands. Down in the end zone, we had sufficient time and resources to educate ourselves properly. But our children don't have this luxury. We ought to build a school and pass on what we've learned. As a result, they will be able to survive and work better and more effectively.
So guys, the last thing to build, at least in this bit of the tutorial, is a school. Now, I'm not going to do that because the video is also already half an hour long, guys. So I'm going to call it an end there, and then maybe have this as just one video, and then maybe do like a full playthrough without a tutorial for a second video. If you guys would be interested in seeing me play a full playthrough as like one big video perhaps, or maybe broken down into little sections that's not part of the tutorial, but just me actually playing and doing what I want to do, then do let me know. Guys, personal opinion, I definitely recommend this game, having already sunk 5 hours into it and not being anywhere near the end. I'm really enjoying it. I don't play an awful lot of strategy games, but I do really like them. Just don't really get a lot of free time to actually play them, but you know, thanks to lockdown, been playing a little bit of everything recently. But yeah, I've really enjoyed this. Definitely recommend you check it out if it's your kind of game. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one very soon.